Hello, this video is going to show you how to do some simple stop frame animation using Bridge and Photoshop. And once you've made the film in Photoshop, you can then directly import it into Premiere, Adobe Premiere, which we'll show you in another film how to use on the basic level. So, first of all, what we need to do is open Bridge. And as you see, I've got this one already opened. And in Bridge, you should locate the files where you've taken and stored your still frame images. So on here, I've included two sets of films, and I'm going to just import this one set to begin with. So first of all, you click the first frame, and then you shift click and click the last frame of the pictures you want to import. There you go. Once you've done that, what you need to do is to go up to the top, to Tools, and then from Photoshop down to Load Files into Photoshop Layers. And click on this. And that immediately opens Photoshop, and it will import all of those photographs. And as it said, it will do that into layers. So as you'll see, you could import this directly into Photoshop, and you can import them as layers into Photoshop, but it's easier because if you open Bridge, it has an automatic setting for doing that. So that's the one reason why we use Bridge. Bridge is like a slideshow really, where you can see all of your photographs, so this is a very quick and handy way of doing that. Now, if you've taken, as I recommended, a few hundred photographs, you'll find you'll need a computer with a large memory and good processing power in order to import all of those at once. So my advice to you would be to import, say, groups of 100 photographs at a time and make different sequences so that the computer that you're using, particularly at the university, will be able to cope, because the university computers generally tend to have between 2 and 4 gigabytes of memory, which isn't going to give you a great deal of computing power. So once you've imported those files, you'll see on the bottom here, Create Video Timeline. So you just click on that, and then you'll see the photographs have been imported as a series of layers. We don't want to be working in them as layers, so now we want to translate this into a timeline. On the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see a little 3 squared icon, and if you click on that, it will turn it into a timeline. Now, at the moment, the layers haven't been imported as a timeline, so we need to go across to the right-hand side menu bar over here. Click on that, and you can see Make Frames from Layers. So you click on that. And immediately they all come up. You should see all of the files in here. Now that you've got them all in here, one of the handy things about this is that you can actually click on the first frame and again shift click on the last frame. And that way you can now work on all of the files as one file. So for instance, 1 second, 0 seconds is the standard default. On this movie, 0.1 second will do me because this is a slightly slower film, so it will work better. You'll need to play around with this, and one way to do that is just to click on here on the play button, see what it looks like. If you're happy with that, then leave it. If you want it to go faster, go back to 0. If you want it to go slower, slowly reduce the file sizes downwards. Now the next thing you should do, and you need to shift click all of these again, is that you'll find that Photoshop will load them from the first layer, which is the bottom layer, to the top layer, and this is usually backwards. So you then need to go back to here and to reverse frames. So that's put them in the right order. And then lastly, because if you use the file sizes of the photographs, you'll tend to have photographs that are very large in megapixel size. So every time you want to play this film, your computer will need to crunch those numbers very fast, and with a large file size it's going to be difficult. So you need to reduce the file size. So you go up to Image, Image Size, and then in here you should put down 72 dots per inch resolution, and then in the width you should put down a typical HD resolution size, which is 1080, and then click OK. And then you'll see that all of the file sizes now will reduce automatically, so you don't have to go through each one to do them one after the other. Okay, it looks small on the screen, but you can see down here we're only seeing a third of the size. So you can either click here and type 100 and then press the return key, that's the normal size, or you can go to View and you can put it onto Fit on Screen, or Actual Pixels will give you 100%. So if you go to Actual Pixels, that will sort out the same as doing 100%. Okay, now that's done. So what we need to do from here is just to export it. So you go to Export, Render Video. Now this now prepares it to make it into a video file that you can then import into Premiere. Depending on how big or how many photographs you've done, this could take some time. But the first thing to do is to title it. So I'll put Dolls 4. Put Dolls actually. There we go. And then you need to select a folder where to put it. At the moment the default is the desktop. Desktop is fine for me. I have actually made another video file for, in here, and it is called, I'll put it into Voila Stuff, there we go, choose, and then what you need to do is to go to the settings, H264, which is fine. I've put it on a YouTube setting, which will give me a video that's going to be good for uploading to YouTube, but you could also put it onto HD 1080p, and that will give you a high definition setting. Okay, and then the preset frame rate is 25, but you could go down to do 10, which should be fine, and then you don't need to worry about the rest. Just click render, and then we'll see that the video is now reforming, ready for export. Okay, that's done. So the only other thing you need to do is to, once you've seen sorted that out, is to close all the programs. So you close Photoshop. Oops. Don't save, because if you save it'll be complicated. And then do the same for Adobe Bridge. And then you just need to locate your file, which I've put in here, and then just play it, just to check that the film plays okay. So you see QuickTime Player loads. This is the right screen size. Click on play, and there you go, slightly fast, so I can slow that down in Premiere. But that's all you need to do, and you close that and you're ready now to open Premiere.